What's up, y'all? It's Questionable Reality, and today we're back for part 2, Eviction, situationship, loss, car wreck, a whole bunch of bullshit that, kind of put me in a bad headspace into why I stopped filming for almost a whole year straight. So let's get right back into part 2. Basically, Uber's insurance, they did not help me. I never uploaded the new vehicle, the 2025 Jeep Compasses registration, all the paperwork to the Uber app. I never uploaded that. I still had my 2019 Jeeps registration, insurance, all that shit. I don't know why I didn't do that. I didn't even think to fucking do that. I just was living life, going about life as usual. That happens. They say they're not going to help me. I'm like, fuck. The next step after they told me they weren't going to help me, I'm already in my head like, okay, let's figure this shit out. How are we going to get the car fixed? What needs to get fixed? How much is it going to cost to get the car fixed? I bring it over to a body shop. Actually, I bring it over to a few body shops. One in Hollywood, one in Torrance, which is like more down south, and then another body shop in Glendale, which is a little bit more north than Hollywood. Boom. Everyone that I bring the fucking car to, $8,000 to $12,000 to fix if the car is not totaled. The first body shop I brought it to, they put it on the fucking the car lift, lifted the car up. They showed me basically the structure, the structural integrity, I think I'm saying that right, was messed up on my car. Basically, the frame of my car was bent, which is no good. That when that happens, that's basically a total loss of a vehicle. So they're telling me 8 to 12K to fix if the car is not completely fucking totaled. Luckily, the car still drove, so I was still able to do Uber and other things, but it just, my mental state just wasn't there. I just was so fucking distraught about all this shit going on. You feel me? One thing you guys are probably like, oh my God, why would you quit your job? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Even with Uber, I slowed down with doing that after the accident, even though I know I had my car note to pay, which was $800. I knew I had insurance I had to pay, which was like $600. I knew I had my rent I had to pay, which was $2,200. But it's like all this shit going on in my fucking life. It was like, I felt like everything that I was doing, like I came to LA to make content. I came to LA to work, to hustle. This is gonna sound like some bitch shit, but it was like, I felt like everything was just not working. It's like, I've been there for almost 4 years at this point. The first year and a half I was living in my car. You know what I mean? It just was a whole bunch of shit going on, couch hopping and shit like that, to finally building everything up, getting a new car, apartment, nice job, all this shit, content flowing. And then it's like, a couple bad months really fucking put me down in the dumps mentally. I had no motivation to even get up and film, go to work, because I'm like, what am I even doing this for? I'm filming content every day. It's not paying me. I'm working this job. I'm not able to save much money whatsoever. In LA, all your money's going to, I was spending my money on equipment, bills, and just living life. You know what I'm saying? It's like I wasn't really doing anything extra. Yeah, so it's like I felt like I just was going in this big ass loop because I just built up everything, and then now everything's coming down on my head again. It's like I don't know what the fuck to do. So we'll fast forward 2 more weeks. So the accident happened February 18th. A week goes by, I'm at body shops. Another week goes by. Now we're in like the beginning of March. I hear a knock on my door. It's the beginning of March. I didn't pay my rent on the 1st of March like I was supposed to. Hear a knock on my door. I open up the door maybe 3 minutes later because I didn't want to talk to whoever was fucking knocking on the door. And I see this pink eviction paper on my door. 28 days notice to pay rent, or basically be evicted. That's what the paper said on my door. So I'm like, what the fuck? Eviction notice now on the door. My car is crashed. And mind you, the car wasn't driving like 100% straight. It was driving. You could drive it still. So I was still able to do Uber and whatnot. But it was like to the point where now I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen to the car. If I hit a fucking pothole too hard, my fucking axle was making like rubbing sounds. My bearing when I turned, it was click, 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 click. I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. I didn't know when the car was gonna completely fall apart, because even the people at the body shop were saying, this shit's fucked up. So I was scared to drive the car like excessively, because now the car is fucked up. I don't have the money to fix it, and I'm getting back into survival mode, especially when I see the fucking pink slip get put on my door. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to live in my car again. Like, I'm already gearing up for that in my head, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Like, so I'm like, I don't want to drive the car excessively, because if this ends up happening the way that shit's playing out right now, me getting evicted, blah 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 blah, if this shit all plays out the way that it's looking like it's gonna play out, I'm gonna need this vehicle, because I'm gonna have to fucking sleep in it. I've been through this before. The first year and some change I was in LA. Yeah, we'll do another fast forward. So after about a week of me sitting there just kind of like soaking in my own like sadness, this and I don't have a job. All right, stop feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, I start very thoroughly looking for a job. I go to fucking at the post office, you feel me? I got my resume. I print out like 300 resumes. I'm on foot, you feel me? Because my car's a little fucked up. I'm on foot all throughout Hollywood. Handing resume here, handing resume here, handing resume here, showing face. You feel me? Just really trying my fucking best. I'm on Indeed every day. Just sending applications, sending out my resume to anybody and everybody that I can so I can get a job and start to get some income flowing back in so I can fix the situation that I fucking put myself, or a couple strokes of bad luck put me in, I guess you could say. But boom, feel me? A week goes by, me just completely depressed, not even leaving the apartment. Snap out of it. Start thoroughly looking through a job all through March. Fast forward all the way through March. April 11th rolls around. I still haven't paid my rent, you guys, just FYI. So now we're 2 months behind on rent, plus the $12,000 bill that's hanging over my head with the car, plus insurance that I haven't paid, plus fucking groceries are low. Like a whole bunch of shit is fucking going on. So I'm like, fuck. March was, grind time. After that week of just feeling bad for myself, got up. April rolls around, April 11th. So Indeed actually was the one to get back to me, and it was for like a front desk position, like concierge at a luxury apartment, and it paid decently for a job in LA. You know what I'm saying? It was like $24 an hour. So I get a job there, and this is full time. You feel me? It's 5 days a week, 2 days off. Feel me? 80 hours on the pay period. Nothing too crazy, but something that I can start to build a plan around, work my finances around, so I can get shit figured out. Guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was already too late at this point. Like I said, I was already 2 months behind on rent. It's like April 11th when I officially get hired there. It's a bi-weekly pay period, so I didn't get my first paycheck until 14 days after I got hired. So April 11th plus 14, you know what I'm saying, May now. So I get my first paycheck, 3 months. I didn't, and mind you guys, the paycheck that I got, the first paycheck, you have to go through training, you have to go through all this stuff. So it wasn't exactly like the big old fat paycheck I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? I just had a couple training hours and, a couple training days that I did periodically throughout those 2 weeks that I was working there. So in my brain, April 11th rolls around. I'm like, bet I'm gonna be able to put some money down on my rent. We can get this shit figured out. And yeah, that's just not what occurred. Like, that's just not what ended up happening. That's not the plan that the universe had for your boy. So I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm saving up all this money. But yeah, guys, I wasn't even worried about the car at this point. I just wanted some clarity on my living situation. I didn't care about the girl anymore. I didn't care about the job that I quit with the special events. I was done feeling sorry for myself. I just wanted to get this shit figured out. But like I said, it just was a little too late for your boy. July rolls around, I'm contacting him like, I have some racks for you, you feel me? Like, are you willing to work with me? Blah, 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 blah. No, they're not willing to work with you. You know what I'm saying? You need to be out by this date. So I'm like, so guys, like I said, this is real deal eviction time. Like, all this shit fucked up prior. Quit feeling sorry for myself. It's like, all right, grind mode. And it's like, I wasn't even able to fucking save myself. I'm like, fuck. I already packed up my whole apartment. I'm like, fuck. Everything was in boxes, sitting on the kitchen table, just ready to go, ready for that day that they were knocking on the door. So that day came late in July, and they knock on the door. Actually it was 3 police officers, 2 males and 1 female. They basically give me the spiel like, hey, you've been evicted, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna need to get your stuff, and you're gonna have to go. Like, you're no longer able to stay here. Mind you guys, I just got out the shower. I'm still working at the concierge job. All these things are running through my head. I'm like, fuck it, dude. You know what I'm saying? I already been through this shit before. Let's run it. Let's go. I had to walk a couple blocks, and I asked the cops, I'm like, yo, can you guys stay with my boxes while I fucking walk to go get my car? It's like 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away. They're like, no. So mind you guys, after all my shit is now outside on the curb, I have to walk 3 blocks away from all my personal items in the middle of Hollywood, literally a block away from Hollywood Boulevard, to go and get my vehicle and drive it around in front of my apartment. Mind you, like I said, a block away from Hollywood Boulevard, in front of all of these people that I just got evicted in front of. Put all my boxes in the fucking car, figure out how I'm gonna fit Q in the car, and go to work. Like, it was a fucked up this was a fucked up day. So I pack up all my shit, go to work. I get a nice spot in the back for Q in the trunk of the Jeep, make a nice little bed for him. Luckily, the parking garage at my job is underground, so when you drive under, it's like It's like fucking 70 degrees. It's nice, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to do, if I'm being honest with you guys. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, this is my second time. Now I'm living in my car and I lost the apartment. My car is fucked up to the point where it doesn't even drive right. You know what I'm saying? Fucking wheels making all these noises. I don't know if the wheel's gonna fall off, bro. And this shit just really sent me into like a real fucked up time in my life. You know, I'm out hustling and bustling, you feel me? I'm doing everything I can to try to get back on my feet. I'm doing everything I can to get back on my feet with what I can, feel me? And I gotta say this too. So, you know, after the whole situation, shout out to my boys, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Sage Flame, you know what I'm saying? I got a podcast with him out on the page sometime last year. We filmed it, but shout out Sage Flames, bro. Shout out Lucky, bro. Shout out Lucky and his family. Ever since the first day I came out to LA, you know what I'm saying? Y'all looked out for the kid, you know, provided me with a place to stay every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, you feel me? Lucky, you and your family, bro, y'all are a blessing. Had a plate for your boy. I'm talking not like no little bullshit plate, like, bro, like, man. So yeah, you feel me? Like I said, you know, now I'm living in my car again. I'm couch hopping, you know, shower at Lucky's house or Sage's house. You know, I'm at the Planet Fitness, you feel me, thugging it out, you know. And then after a good 3 weeks of me completely being homeless again, living in my vehicle, going to work, you know, a good 3 weeks go by, you know what I'm saying? It's like the homies can only do so much for you, you know what I'm saying? Their family can only do so much for you, to the point where it's like you start becoming a burden to them. You don't want to be in their house all the time, eating their food, having your phone plugged up in their wall. You're not even a part of their family, but they're treating you like you're one of theirs. So it's like in my brain, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be that guy. So I start to fall back a little bit from that. You know what I'm saying? I strictly just go to the gym and shower. Strictly just, you know what I'm saying, being by myself, unless it's, you know, I'm feeling real low and I'm like, you know, fuck, I gotta go talk to somebody or hang out with the homies or something like that. At that point, you know, I really start like reviewing my life and shit like that. Honestly, like y'all guys, I started going back to school. I was really just trying to figure shit out. I didn't know what to do. And then I get a phone call from my mom and my stepdad and my grandma. Everybody's already texting me, calling me, doing all this shit. And my brain is like really like just not in a good place. Phone call that I'm getting every text and shit like that is just, you know, you should come home, you know what I mean? Like, why are you putting yourself through all this shit and it's not, you know, you're back homeless again, you know what I'm saying? You're doing this, you're doing that, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, why are you doing this? And it's like all this shit is just echoing in the back of my head. I'm like, fuck, bro, should I go home? Which I don't, like, in my brain, I never was gonna end up back on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying, unless it was like by my choice. And actually it's funny that I say that because it was my choice why I came back to the East Coast, but I never was gonna end up back over here unless, you know what I'm saying, in my brain it was like, until I'm successful, until I pull up in that Porsche, until I can send my mom $50,000 or whatever the fucking case is, you know what I'm saying, the future of my life, you know, how things are gonna be in the future. But I'm like, I'm not gonna leave LA until that shit is tangible. That was my like solid rock in my head. But you're not leaving until you make this shit happen. And it's like, I got everyone telling me to leave. Everyone telling me I should take a break, reset. And I truly, truly, truly did not want to do that. I did not want to do that. One thing that I realized as all this shit was happening is advice from other people. It can be good or it can be bad. And sometimes you gotta take advice. You know what I'm saying? You got to take advice. And the advice that I didn't want to hear and I didn't want to listen to so much was, you know, maybe you should go home for a little bit, you know, reset, take a break, recalculate, you know, recoup and figure out a new game plan and get back in the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Figure out a new plan and get back in the game. Inevitably, that's what I ended up doing. November 1st, that was my first day back on the East Coast. A week prior to November 1st, I was like, you know, let's do this thing, you feel me? And there was a lot of other shit that happened in between. The cherry on top that actually made, like, that pushed me to go home, that was the deciding factor. The car accident that I got into with Sage Flames that completely totaled that vehicle. That was a real reason why, you know, I ended up actually having to go home. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap this up real quick. The camera just died. For 2 days from now, that'll mark a year since that accident and a year since the quote unquote downfall. But now we're in the rising portion. This year we are coming back strong with content. I got a lot of other extracurricular things that I'm working on behind the scenes that I really want to and I'm going to accomplish. So it's like all this shit that happened 2025